your final 30 marks out of 100. The final 30 marks, I will take some weightage from the 22nd and 23rd exam, and some weightage from your final evaluation that we had done before the autumn vacation. Okay, so that I'll see what is a good ratio so that you won't be getting any very bad grades. Okay, okay. So now, so today we are going to see how to interface the stepper motor. And I think in your S5 you have already have a module in which there is an interfacing for interfacing module number 6 in your microprocessor and microcontroller theory course. And I think in there is a stepper motor also. So I think most of you might have done at least some point of interfacing this. But anyway, I'll explain to you what is stepper motor. I'll explain to you how to interface stepper motor with 8051. I'll also show you the Proteus program or the Proteus demo of the interfacing the controller with the stepper motor. Okay, and DC motor I don't have the Proteus program, but I'll give you the method to interface DC motor. Okay, right. Any questions from you? Anything you want me to ask? Sorry, you want to ask? Just let me know if you want to clarify anything. So we'll have the lab sessions usually, most probably during this time only. In the afternoon, I am a bit busy, because of which I won't be able to take the lab sessions. Like I am busy till 6 o'clock. So tomorrow we will not be having lab session. Day after tomorrow we'll be having lab session, and possibly till 20th or something like that. Okay. Okay. Fine. So let me just show you regarding the interfacing with the stepper motor. So this is the website which I am referring to. It's called as Technobyte. I think it's pretty neatly described stepper motor interfacing with 8051. Okay. So so when you want to interface and stepper motor with 8051, then you see the list of components that is required for stepper motor interfacing. Okay, so obviously you should have a microcontroller, which is 8089C51 or 8089C51. Both are Atmel 8051 based microcontrollers. Then there is a stepper motor, which is of 12 volt. An important part in that one is the current driver IC, ULN2003A. We will see in detail why we need this IC. Then there should be a power supply, there should be an oscillator crystal for the controller working, there should be some capacitors and resistors for the reset pin, etc., and there should be some connecting device. Now, coming to stepper motor, so let me just go directly to stepper motor. So you see, this is actually the stepper motor. And as we all know, all the motors work based on the principle of electromagnetism, where once you give current to a particular type of a material, it will get magnetized. Okay. So in stepper motor, you have something called as a stator, and there is something called as a rotor. So the rotor is this actually this black thing, and inside this there is a magnet. Okay. So there are some ball bearings, and there's a shaft which will be coming out of this motor. So what happens is something like this. I hope you can see this animation. Okay. So you see there is a rotor at the middle, which is a geared rotor, and you see there are 4 magnets, electromagnets in this one. So when the first one is magnetized, it gets rotated to the first one. When the second one gets magnetized, it will get rotated to the second, and when the third one will get magnetized, it will rotate to the third, and the fourth one get magnetized, it will rotate to the fourth. Okay, so you see that the magnetization is happening only one electromagnet at a time. It need not be only one; it can be one or more. But in this animation, it is showing that there is only one electromagnet which is getting magnetized. So depending on which is getting magnetized, the rotor will rotate to that direction. Basically, you see that you have the rotor will have a south and north pole, and when the magnetization is happening, then what is happening is that uh, one of the electromagnet will achieve a particular polarity. So it will repel the opposite pole, and so it will attract the opposite pole and repel the same pole. Because of which you see when A is getting a north pole, then if this is south which is coming here, and south will come here, and when B gets the north pole, then the S the south will pole will move to B, and when C gets north, again the south pole will move to C, and when B gets north, then again the south pole will move to B. So this is the basic working. Okay, so if you see here, you see that once you magnetize A and then go to B, there is a rotation of 90 degrees. So for each magnetization, there is a rotation of 90 degrees. Okay. Now, assume that this is only for such electromagnets. Assume that there are more electromagnets available. So in that case, if you place an electromagnet in between A and B, you can have an angle of 45 degree also by magnetizing the magnet in between. So depending on the number of electromagnets which are inside this motor, you can achieve any particular precise angle of rotation. Okay, this is how the stepper motor works. So in stepper motor, usually you will have like 200 steps of rotation. That is, each rotation of your motor is 1.8 degrees. So you need to have 200 steps to complete one 360-degree rotation. Okay. So once you create an uh, electromagnetism in this stepper motor, and if you keep on rotating the electromagnetic properties, then you will see that it will have 200 steps of rotation, each step of 1.8 degrees. Now there are two types of stepper motor. One is called as a unipolar stepper motor, which is used very commonly. So you have seen, you see that there are actually 6 terminals which is coming out of the stepper motor. One is A, B, there's a common wire to the supply, C, D, and there's a common wire to the supply. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terminals which is coming out. Okay. So this is basis of stepper motor. That's all you want to know about the working. Now, how will you interface the stepper motor to 8051 controller? So is it possible that if you connect all these terminals to 6 ports, let's say I connect the terminal A to pin number 1 of port 2, terminal B common to pin number 2 of port 2, and terminal B to pin number 3 of port 2, etc., etc. If you directly connect to the microcontroller, is it possible to make the stepper motor rotate? That is a better question. The answer is yes and no. Yes, because it is possible. No, because it will damage your 8051. Now, why it is happening is, you see the stepper motor is working 12 volt supply, and when you want to rotate the stepper motor, to magnetize this electromagnets, you need to have a heavy current flowing out. Okay, so if you connect directly to the microcontroller port pins, each of these electromagnetism needs at least around 100 milliamps to 1 amps current, but your microcontroller can supply a maximum of only 25 milliamps. If you try to get more than that current, then it will damage your port pin of the controller. To avoid this, what we'll do is you will put a special type of IC called as ULN2003. Now, this IC will make sure that your stepper motor is driven by the controller, and also it is also getting enough current to drive. Okay. So I'll just show you the datasheet of this IC. So this is the IC datasheet. So you see that this is the IC. Now whatever you see as B is an input output from the controller. So your controller will be somewhere here. The port pins will be connected to 1B, 2B, 3B, 4B, etc. The output 1C, 2C, 3C, 4C will be going to the stepper motor. We'll see in Proteus how this is done. So that now the IC will be powered with some voltage. Now the IC will make sure that the current which is driving this stepper motor at the C terminals is not from the controller, but it is directly from the power supply. Otherwise, it will damage the microcontroller. So this is the main reason why we are using this UL N2003A or similar ICs. Okay, so you can check the datasheet of UL N2003A for more knowledge on this. Okay, now once you have connected everything, then you have something called as a mode in stepper mode. Okay, so you see that, let's say there are 4 magnets, electromagnets. Then when you say 1, 0, 0, you are saying magnetizing the first electromagnet and demagnetizing the rest of it. So it will move to the magnet A. When you say 0, 1, 0, 0, then you are magnetizing the second electromagnet and demagnetizing all other electromagnets. So it will move to the magnet number B. And similarly, you can see 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. So you see that in each step, the stepper motor is rotating one step. Okay, 1, 1, 1, and goes on like this. This is called as a wave drive mode. This is actually the less power consumption mode, but it has a very less torque. Torque means that, let's say you have on the stepper motor shaft, you have a load here on the shaft, and let's say the load is of, let's say, 100 grams or so. Now, if the torque is less, then the stepper motor might not be able to rotate this 100 grams load. But if the torque is high, then it will be able to rotate this 100 grams load. So torque is directly, like, the higher the load, you need higher torque. But if the load is less, then you need only less torque. So if you're doing some, let's say you have a robotic arm or something like that, and the robotic arm is connected to this shaft, and the robotic arm wants to lift something, let's say 100 gram of something, then if the torque, if you design the robotic arm in such a way that the motor is producing only less torque on this shaft, then the robotic arm cannot lift that amount of things. Okay, so depending on what is your necessity, you can choose the other mode called as full drive mode and half drive mode. The full drive mode will have much higher torque, but also will have much higher power consumption. So in full drive mode, you see that 2 electromagnets are magnetized at the same time. So A and B is magnetized. So what happens is, like, the rotor will be somewhere in between A and B. Then the other 2 are demagnetized. Then you change the position of magnetization. You make B and C magnetized and other 2 demagnetized, and so on. So you see that because 2 electromagnets are magnetized at the same time, there will be more, the motor will have more power and has more torque. Okay, and there is also half drive mode, where you see that at some point you will magnetize only one electromagnet, at some point you will magnetize both electromagnets. So it's actually alternate. First only A, then A and B, then only B, then B and C, then only C, then C and D, and so on. So this also will have an average power consumption and an average torque. Okay, so these are all the different modes in the electromagnet. So all these values, so let's say you choose to use the stepper motor in wave drive mode. So what you should do is, you should send this pulses 1, 0, 0, 0 to the stepper motor, so that it can rotate according to your instruction from the controller. Okay, that's the only thing you want to do. You don't want to do anything else. So stepper motor, well, that's why the stepper motor is much more easier to interface. So we have seen this ULN2003 AIC. So this is a schematic diagram. You see that 1B is the input, there's a buffer here. This buffer is basically can be considered as a current buffer, where it will provide the enough current to drive, that is something which is connected to the port 1C. Similarly, 2B, you have an input, there's a current buffer, and it will make sure that the whatever is connected at 2C can be driven. Okay, so that is regarding. So basically, there are Darlington transistors which is shown in here. Now, let's see how you can make the connections. Okay, I hope you have understood whatever I have told till now. Let me know if you have any questions, because I am sure that most probably your project will be offline. I don't think any more online things will be there for 1 year. So, so let me go to Proteus. Okay, I hope you can see my Proteus screen. I'm not expecting everybody to have Proteus software, but if you have Proteus software, that is well and good. Okay, so this is your controller. Okay, now controller needs to work in some kind, will work only in some kind of a clock pulse. So for that to work, you need to interface a crystal. Now the period or the frequency I have put is 12 megahertz. That is because inside the controller there's a division by 12, because of which finally the controller will work in 1 megahertz, so that I can easily calculate the time. Okay, 1 megahertz means like every clock pulse will come in every 1 microsecond. Okay, so that will make my life easier to calculate. For example, let's say I happen to have a delay, then I can easily calculate using this 1 microsecond pulse. Then you have C1, C2, C3, R1, etc. So C1, C2 are for like connecting to the crystal to remove any kind of unwanted DC coming into the crystal, going out of the crystal. Then you have the reset pin, which is tied to the source, which is like 5 volt source, and this makes sure that the system is not put in reset. Okay. Then you have connected the EA pin to the high also, because of which you will make sure that the microcontroller is working in the normal mode. Now, if you see, I have written a code inside this. So let me show the code also. There's a small code I have written inside this. In this one, I have put in this in a wave drive mode. I hope you can see what I am showing it here. The font size. Okay, so this is a code. So this part is all directly from the Proteus only. Only thing that I have written is this part. Okay, so you see that I have put this in wave drive mode. So wave drive mode means that you need to pass. Um, let me put in my full screen. Okay, wave drive mode means that you need to pass some particular numbers. For example, in this case, first you need to pass 0x08, then you need to pass 0x04, then you need to pass 0x02, then you need to pass 0x01. So that's what it is done here. So you moved a value of 0x08 to P2, then you moved a value of 0x04 to P2, then 02 to P2, and 01 to P2. Now you see P2 is a 8-bit port, but you are only accessing the first or the LSB 4 bits of this port. Okay, so you need to connect in your schematic only the LSB 4 bits, which is 0th, first, second, and third. So these are the 4 pins which will be controlling your stepper motor. But you don't connect directly to the stepper motor, which is here, but you will be connecting directly to the IC ULI 2003A. Once you connect this, as we have told, the B terminals are for the input and the C terminals are for the output. So in C, you have a common terminal which will be connected to the 5 volt, and the output of each of these terminals will be going to the stepper motor. In stepper motor, you have 6 terminals as we have seen in the diagram, and the middle terminal will be always be connected to 12 volt, which will be driving the stepper motor, and the next 4 wires coming out of ULN 2003A is connected to stepper motor to control its rotation. Okay, so basically the program which is running inside the microcontroller is controlling the rotation of this stepper motor. So if you run this, you can see that the stepper motor will run, but with a less amount of precision. Okay, we'll see why that is happening. So you see that the stepper motor is running. Now, if you look at the code, you see that there is a delay. Okay, and I have put the delay to be 200 milliseconds. Now, why do you need a delay in the stepper motor? The answer is the stepper motor is an electromechanical device. The stepper motor has a magnet which needs to be magnetized. When you say magnetized, if you pass a 1, it will not get magnetized at that instant. Instead, since it's a mechanical part, it will take some time to magnetize to its complete potential. So to give that time, you are putting a delay after each command is set. Okay, so this delay I have configured using a timer of 200 milliseconds. Okay, so after passing each command, you have a delay of 200 milliseconds. Then you pass the next command, delay of 200 milliseconds, and so on. Now you can reduce the delay, so the motor will rotate faster. But the problem might occur at some point. It will have a haywire behavior. Haywire means like it will go in a chaos mode. You don't know what the motor is. Sometimes it will rotate, sometimes it will not, sometimes it will stop, etc. etc. So to a safer side, I have put a delay of 200 milliseconds. Okay. So this is all that is needed to understand in stepper motor interfacing. Now, if you want to know the code is given at this website. I will put this in our classroom. The wave driver code is here, like this, and the full drive mode code is here, and the half drive mode code is here. Okay, if you want to look at the C program, which is much more easier, you just pass this value, call this function ms underscore delay 200. It will give a 200 milliseconds delay, which is coded here, and you can write this to have in wave drive mode. Okay, so in your project, I always prefer to put in C program because it will be easier for you to code, because the project is not only to run stepper motor, but it will be of a bigger use or a bigger target. So you don't want to waste time in coding. So if you're doing a project, always prefer C code to do the project. Okay, so this is what the stepper motor is and how you can code the stepper motor. Okay, do you have any doubts on till now what I have explained? Any doubts? You can clear. We can clear it up now itself. Okay, so I hope that everybody understood what I have told till now. So what your lab experiment is something like this. You see that I will post this code also in Classroom. Don't worry about this. So I will put this code as a ASM file in the Classroom. So when you are downloading it in your mobile, make sure that you rename this into text file. Otherwise, you will not be able to see this code. Okay, or I'll put it as a text file, txt file. You can edit it and upload it as txt file itself. Okay, so this is the code. So what your lab session or today's lab experiment is, you modify this code so that the motor turns 360-degree once in clockwise, and then it turns 360-degree anti-clockwise. I hope you understood. So in this code, what is happening is that it keeps on rotating in clockwise. Okay, but what we need to want is that it turns 360-degree clockwise first, and then it turns 360-degree anti-clockwise. Okay, so only thing that you want to do is, you see that initially the command is 0x 08 04 02 and 01. That's your command. This turns in clockwise. If you want to turn in anti-clockwise, you reverse the command. You first put 01, then put 02, then put 04, and then put 08. That will turn in anti-clockwise. But it needs to keep on doing this. You don't want to do it only once. So turn clockwise, then go to anti-clockwise, again clockwise, anti-clockwise, and keeps on doing it unless and until you stop the code. Okay, so that is your experiment. So I'll post this experiment in detail. I have also given you the hint on how to do this experiment. So it's a very simple experiment. You can try it out. You don't want to test it. I know that it is not possible for you to test it. If you can test it, that is pretty good. If you have Proteus software, you can put it inside Proteus software and test it. Okay, but anyway, you can try it out and you can upload the code. So I'll give till tonight to finish and upload the code. Okay, so that's experiment for today. Any questions? I think okay. I just mentioned something about DC motors also. Now the stepper motor is similar. Sorry, the DC motor is similar to that of a stepper motor. Sorry, except that instead of steps, the DC motor will run continuously. Okay, let me see if I have some DC motor facing. Yeah, so I'll stop once this after this also. I hope you can see my screen. So I won't explain in detail. So you can look up the DC motor working. It is similar to stepper motor, except that instead of like the rotor will also we have some kind of a magnetization effect, because of which it will run continuously. Okay, so for DC motor, you see that if you give plus and minus, so in DC motor will have only two terminals. Okay, if you give plus and minus to terminal number 1 and terminal number 2 respectively, it will rotate in clockwise. If you reverse the polarity, it will turn in counterclockwise. Okay, that's the only thing. So the target is always to change the direction of DC motor and control the speed. That's the only two things that you can do with the DC motor. To change the direction of DC motor, you always have something called an H-bridge circuit. So the schematic is something like this. You have a switches S1, S2, S3, S4, and there is a current source here. So what happens when the switch S1 and S4 is closed, means the terminal A will have a positive polarity and terminal A will have a negative polarity. So the current flows like this, and the motor will turn clockwise. Now, if you open S1 and S4 and close S2 and S3, you see that A will have a negative polarity and A will have a positive polarity. So the current will flow something like this, and so the motor will turn in anti-clockwise direction. So that's the main advantage of using an H-bridge circuit. And in H-bridge, S1, S2, S3 is actually a MOSFET, which will help you in sourcing that amount of current also, because DC motor usually takes a very large amount of current. So that current is sourced by this H-bridge. Okay. Now to control the speed, you need to have something called as PWM, pulse width modulation. I think there is some code here. Yeah. So depending on the duty cycle, that is how much positive time is, so your period or the supply that is given to the motor will be fixed, have a fixed period or a fixed frequency, but the positive width will keeps on changing. As the positive width keeps on changing, the average current or the average voltage applied to the motor will change. If the positive width is higher, then the average voltage is higher. If the positive width is lower, then the average voltage is lower. If the average voltage to the motor is higher, motor will rotate in very fast speed. If the average voltage is lower, the motor will rotate in a slow speed. So that's how you control the speed of the DC motor. Again, just like we have used ULN 2003A in our stepper motor, the DC motor also needs a special kind of motor driver IC for the H-bridge called as L298N. Okay, so you need to interface similar to what we have done for stepper motor. You need to do the same thing for DC motor also. Okay, so I am not expecting you to do any experiment based on DC motor, but I want you to do some experiments or what I have told based on the stepper motor. Okay, any questions? Okay, fine. So then let's call it a day. Before that, let me take the attendance. Um, So I'll post the assignment and also the code and the link to all these websites in the Google Classroom. You can attempt them. Okay. Okay. One is absent. Two is absent. Three. Okay. 3%. Four absent. Others. 5, 6, 7. Anena. 8. Anisha. Absent. 10, 11, 12. Ashwin. 13, 14, 15. Adira PU. 16, 17 Dinsreed, 18, 19 Hiba, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 29 Shahid. Okay, Shahid already പറഞ്ഞു. 30 Smiley, 31%. 32 Pravina, absent. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. 45 Varun B. 46, 48 Vishnu TV. 49 Vivek. 56 Nigel NC. 57. Okay. Oh, absent is 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 12, 15, 17, 19, 30, 32, 45, 48, 49, 56. Okay, so thank you for listening. Uh, so reminder for the assignment for today, it will be till today midnight. I'll post all of this within next few minutes. So try to do the assignment, and we'll meet again on Thursday, same time. Okay, thank you.